Hey everybody, good to see you. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. And who's ready to learn how to play Sample and a Jar by Phish? All right, so you're going to want to be in standard tuning, the EAD. And there's a few chords in this. You got an A, a C, a G, and a D. There's also an E and an E minor, which in the key of A, E minor is not normally in there, but that's okay. And then you've got a C, a D, and an E7. C typically isn't in key of A minor either, but that's okay. So it's typical with Phish. They use borrowed chords from relative keys and whatnot, but let's get started. So the verses are basically in a nutshell an A, C, G, D, and then goes A, E major, E minor, D. Now, I'm not going to be showing how to play each one of these chords. This is kind of like for not a beginner, but you can play it as a beginner. But you're going to want to know some of your chords already. And the strumming's a little different, so it's not like your first song you want to learn. But if you've been playing a little bit and you know the basic chords, you'll be okay. All right, so I'm going to kind of play the rhythm to give you how that feels with the basic chords. But that's not how they play them. I'm going to show you how to play the actual way they play it. So if you're listening to it and you just want to play the basic chords, it's an A major to a C to a G to the D, and then the second time is an A again to the E major to the E minor to the D. So if you're just strumming along, it would be the A, C, G, D, A, E major to the D. But what they're actually playing is variations and inversions of those chords. Trey's actually playing the A this way, the D, C, the G, and the D, and then the A again, the E major, E minor, D. And by doing it this way with those inversions, as you can clearly see, we're going, whoa, yeah. It gives you that feeling of just kind of starting up high and just working your way downhill without the hopping back and forth like you would here. It just gives you that nice flowing downhill melody. All right, so you're going to have the open A, then you're going to have the 11th fret of the D with your ring finger. You're going to take your index finger and put it on the 9th fret of the G. Your middle finger goes on the 10th fret of the B, and you're going to play that high E open. So your bottom 4 strings, that's your A major inversion. The C, you're just going to slide everything down. What you're going to do is play like that F up here. It's cage system comes in handy, but you're going to take your ring finger and put it on the 10th fret of the D, the middle finger on the 9th fret of the G, index finger on the 8th fret of the B, and strum the bottom 4 strings. The high E is always open. So you got your A, C, and then you can do that same pattern you had on the A, but everything's down 2 frets. So your ring finger's on the 9th fret of the A, or the D, I'm sorry. Your index finger's on the 7th fret of the G, middle finger's on the 8th fret of the B, and then everything's open. And you just play the bottom 4. So you got the A, the C, G, and then the D is just you bar across. You're going to play on the 7th fret, the D, G, and B. That's the bottom half of that D bar chord. All right. And then the A is like your C pattern. It's based off that F. Ring finger on the D string, 7th fret, middle finger, 6th fret of the G, index finger, 5th fret of the B, and strum all the strings but the low E. It's another variation of A. So you've got your A here, and that's an A. All right. And then that pattern we used before down here, it's just down here. Ring finger on the 6th fret of the D, index on the 4th fret of the G, middle finger on the 5th fret of the B. It's going to get your E major. Then you're going to take your middle finger, put it on the 5th fret of the D, index finger, 4th fret of the G, ring finger, 5th fret of the B. That's going to give you that E minor kind of vibe. And then variation on the D chord, you're going to, first inversion, put your ring finger on the 4th fret of the D, your index finger, 2nd fret of the G, and middle finger, 3rd fret of the B, and then strum just the bottom 4. It's kind of like a D sus with the F sharp on the bass. I don't need to get into theory, but so that pattern is used there. Slide down, that's the G. So you got A, G, and then the D are using that same shape. All right, your C is using this shape, as well as the A. Okay, so you got A, C, G, and he goes, you're gonna hammer on the A string 7 to 9 to that D chord. And then back, start over the A. And that's how the verse is played. So like I said, if you're a beginner, those are not the chords you're going to want to play. You're going to just want to play the A, C, G, D, A, B, E minor. And if you're two guitarists, one can play that and the other can play the variations of the chords that. That's the verses. Chorus, super easy. You're going to do A to D to the E major. And they're not using the inverted chords for that. They're just using the straight up chords at A, D, E major, D. What's that? I wheeled around because I didn't hear what you had said. Saw you dancing with a lady. Up on Mama's bed, I was foggy, rather groggy. They held me to my car, bind a belt and closing me, sample in a jar. It goes back to the verse. The bridge is that, you treat me like the others, and now I don't belong. The good times, I can't remember the exact words, feel all wrong. It's that it goes C, D, A, G. So that first part's C, A, G. Second time is C. It's a variation of the D. You're just going to take that C and slide everything up 2 frets. And then slide up everything again 2 more frets and put your little finger on that G string on the 7th fret. Get you an E7. You hear those notes ringing out, so that the whole bridge together is C. Back to the chorus. So, not too complicated. Depends on which variation you want to play. Sound true to the original as those, inverted chords. But you can play just the basic ones and it's going to sound fine. What gives that song its nice feel is that major to the minor. Typically, that's like a Beatles trick, but that's usually on the 4 chord. This is doing on the 5 chord. So what you're actually doing, a little bit of theory, is you're in the key of A. When you play that, the G sharp on that E major, which is in the key of A, perfectly normal. When you drop that out, now you've added a regular G note in there, which gives you that Mixolydian sound. I don't want to get deep into theory, but what you're doing with that chord is adding a flat 7th to the key of A, which would be the G instead of the G sharp. So when you're soloing over it, that's where it's tricky because you're in the key of A, but then all of a sudden over that E minor, boom, you've now just hit that Mixolydian note you're going to throw in there. Also, over the C chord, that's not in the key of A. It's only C sharp. So you've actually flattened a 3rd down by using a C major instead of the C sharp minor, which is a flattened 3rd, which is a bluesy note, pentatonic or blues scale. Excuse me, it would work really nice over that too. So you can be messing around. And then throw the pentatonic in there, throw that Mixolydian in there. That's why I like that. I'm not going to do the solo. I can kind of improvise over it when I've played in bands, but I don't have Trey's abilities. But that's the basic way to play it. So let me just recap real quick. Verses: A, C, G, D, A, E major, E minor to a D, and it just repeats. And then the chorus is A, D, E major, D, A, E major, E major. Just goes back and forth. A to D, E to D, A to D, E to D. And then it bridges that. C, D, A, G, C, D, E7 down to 7. Go back to the chorus. And like I said, A minor pentatonic works great over it. A Mixolydian works over it nicely. You just got to be careful what notes you're focusing on over the C and the E minor. It can get tricky. But that's Sample in a Jar. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.